Effective communications can be the difference maker that lands you a coveted job, a breakthrough sale, or even a crucial round of venture funding. So this evening, we are incredibly fortunate to have Jyoti Singhvi here to teach us some valuable insights regarding this topic. Jyoti is CEO of the Ace Groupe, an ed tech firm that trains professionals and entrepreneurs in presentation and communication techniques. She has interviewed and hosted many executives, CEOs, and chairmen of Fortune 500 companies. Jyoti has extensive corporate experience at Cartier, IBM, and KPMG Consulting. In addition, Jyoti has earned degrees from MIT and Harvard, as well as founding a luxury goods company that sells products in Neiman Marcus. It's quite an impressive resume. Before I turn it over to Jyoti, I'd just like to give you a short overview of the MIT Enterprise Forum. We are an MIT-affiliated global organization with 17 chapters around the world. Our chapter here in New York City was the first, founded in 1971, with an ongoing mission to support entrepreneurs and technology startups. Toward that end, we organize at least 9 events a year, including panel discussions, startup showcases, and fireside chats on the impact of new technologies across topics and industries, as well as networking and educational events such as this one. We are open to everyone with an interest in business, entrepreneurship, and technology. If you find this event interesting and would like to attend more, I really encourage you to consider a membership with the MIT Enterprise Forum. For just $100 for the year, you can attend all of our events. If you paid your ticket for this evening's event, we can credit that to your membership fee. Please visit our website at mitefnyc.org for more info. Again, that's mitefnyc.org. Lastly, I'd like to give many thanks and shout outs to fellow board members, including our chair, Joe Kim, our vice chair, Gen Tan, and our coordinator, Colette Thompson, for providing lots of assistance and advice in putting this together. Last but certainly not least, a huge thank you to Jyoti for volunteering to present on this topic to our community. Based not just on her impressive qualifications, but especially my own interactions with her over this past few months, I know we're in for a very, very valuable event. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jyoti. Go ahead, Jyoti. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, for that glowing introduction. Really appreciate it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jyoti Singhvi. As John mentioned, it's such a pleasure to have you here today with all of us. Without further ado, I do have a lot to cover. So with your permission, I am going to share my presentation. Would you like that? Yes. Okay, sure. Thank you for the thumbs up. All right, sharing my presentation. All right. Make massive impact with communication and presentation skills. If you could please turn off your cell phones, close any additional tabs you may have on your computers so that you can get the most out of this training. You know, we can always do multitasking, maybe read another email, read another text. Absolutely, your life, you can do whatever, but I know you're here for a reason, right? So if I say something and you get busy reading something else, you're going to totally miss it. I also recommend if you have a notebook and a pen, you can write things down. That just helps us kind of remember things more. All right, this is how you can get in touch with me. If you want to take a screenshot image of this before you put your phones away, that's fine. You might need to use your phones for a couple more things later on. You can take a screenshot picture of that. I'm going to move on, or you can write this, whatever you like. You'll see the screen again. Also, okay, people are writing, so I'm going to just wait. JYOTISINGHVI@gmail.com. The reason why I'm saying this is because, again, my purpose today is to help you in the best possible way I can. It's only 1 hour. There is so much to cover, right? So I won't be able to cover a lot. So if you have questions about anything, let me know. And then I have a lot of different resources that you can, use later on after this conversation is ended too. And if you have questions, you can reach out to me. I love to help. And you guys are all my beloved alumni, MIT alumni, so I'm very happy to have you here. All right, moving on. I'm going to move to the next screen. Now, we all know that there are many keys to success, right? Hard work, dedication, focus, being smart. You guys are all smart. There's no question about it. Went to MIT. Most of you guys are MIT alums, but we have friends too. If you're friends with MIT alums, you're even smarter, right? But there is one more thing, right? and that is communication skills. It's not I mean, these are my words, but then there are other people who are saying it, so you don't have to take my word for it. McKinsey & Company says, analytical skills are important, but long-term success depends on interpersonal communication and long-term relationships to facilitate effective teamwork. These soft skills are often undervalued. And then, you guys know Ray Dalio, the CEO of Bridgewater, one of the largest hedge funds, right? He says, he's a very analytical person, amazing guy, says, beware of the tremendous price of skimping on quality communication. So we heard it from two leading agencies or authorities, I would say. All right. Now today what we're going to cover is going to apply not just to public speaking, not just to presentation skills, but also to interpersonal communication. All right. So also what I want to say is this. There are people from different industries, different levels, and different use cases. So I will only be able to give one or two examples for whatever I talk about, but I invite you to use your imagination as to how you can use these techniques or strategies or tips in your situation. And also, in the interest of time, I'll probably not repeat these things, public speaking presentation. I'll probably just call it a presentation or meeting. And it could be a one-on-one presentation. It could be 1 to 20, 1 to 5, 1 to 2,000, whatever it is. When we're talking, we're gonna consider it in the scope of today's conversation. All right. And like I said, everybody is at different levels. So this is kind of important because, again, in 1 hour, I can't cover the gamut, right? And somebody's a beginner, somebody is intermediate, somebody is an advanced. So I'm going to try to keep it in the middle. And if you are, at this level or more advanced, and if you have questions or if you need anything else, again, reach out to me. All I want to say is I'm here to help you. You're not in this alone. We're here together, right? All right, perfect. Oh, and one more thing. A lot of times when I do presentations like these, like when I am the audience member and I'm listening to somebody, and a lot of other people too, we're hoping to get some like really amazing nuggets of wisdom, right? Something which is just like earth-shattering, etc., etc. Maybe there is some new nuggets of wisdom here, but a lot of times, I mean, this is communication skills have been there for, eons, right? In different ways, shapes, and forms. So you may find that there are some new strategies, new tips that I may share, but you may find, oh, I knew that. Okay, if you knew it, don't write it off. Maybe write it down. Maybe it's a reminder for you. Maybe it's just a review for you. Maybe it's a validation of the knowledge that you already have. And it's just important for us to start using it. If we knew it, we just want to make sure we use it. So it's going to be a combination of things for you because, again, I don't know what every person's level is. So it may be really new information or it may be just repeat of what you already know. But at least it's going to be a good review. That's what we're hoping for. All right, so today we're going to cover how do you make an impact with communication skills? And second thing we're gonna cover is mistakes we often make. And what are some of the solutions? We don't wanna leave it at mistakes, we're gonna talk about solutions also. Mistakes we make during communication skills. And then we're gonna talk about some mindset shifts to communicate with confidence and manage nervousness. Some of you were very kind to take that survey that Colette and MIT Enterprise Forum sent out earlier, and managing nervousness and confidence is usually a big thing. Managing audiences is also a big thing. We're going to touch on that today, not talk in detail about that. All right, so I said that I'm going to help you in the best possible way. So I'm going to start by giving you a little gift. So take a picture of this. After we hang up, you can register for this free course. The course is Speak with Confidence So You Can Influence. It's a cute little mini course. Whatever I'm going to cover today is not in the course. What's in the course is not going to be covered today. So make sure that you hang on and be there for the presentation too. If you want to take a screenshot, you can do that here. Okay. All right, sounds good. Did you take a screenshot? I'm gonna move on. And if gift one was not enough, I have another gift for you. So because you are my MIT peeps, I have 1 hour free coaching for you. I have I may not be able to entertain everybody because I have very limited time, but just email me and I'll see first 10, 15 people that I can take on. I'm very happy to do so. So again, this is my email. And in this free coaching, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna talk about your vision, your goals. We're gonna talk about your personal challenges to reaching those goals around communication skills. And then we're gonna create a strategy and a plan for you to reach those goals. Sound good? So this, you can reach out to me later or while you're doing this, but you're gonna lose your screen. All right, so a recent MIT poll said this: adults with communication and presentation and public speaking skills are 65% more likely to be promoted. All right, do you guys kind of agree with this number? Because a lot of us just in general think that, okay, people who are out there creating that visibility are more likely to be promoted. I'd love if you, in the chat box, if you wouldn't mind just writing those numbers, whatever you think. Is it 65%? Is it 75? Is it 85? Is it 100%? Is it 25%? Whatever your number is, I'd love to see it. Let me just hop on over into the chat box and see what you guys want to say. Anybody saying anything? Just put in that number. What percentage, what is your likelihood to be promoted, greater likelihood to be promoted? All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to move on to the next step. You share your thoughts, share your projects, share your vision. When you speak, you need to do that for multiple reasons. Perhaps you might be the one who creates the next Prime or the Zoom or whatever fantastic product there is. Because if you don't share your ideas, they stay where? Here. They don't become a world-class product. Right? So it's very important to do that. Secondly, if you don't share your ideas, you're not known for your expertise. You need to be known for your expertise and your knowledge and your experience. I said this earlier, you have to create a visibility around yourself. Otherwise, all the good work you're doing, you know, maybe it's doing great, it's bringing rewards for the company, but it's not bringing rewards for you. The key decision makers, again, need to know you if you need to get the promotions, the bonuses, the raises, or a new job or the new role. So the more you speak, people within the organization know, and then also people around in your industry need to know. So you need to create that branding for yourself wherever it matters, right? Not just your own team, not just your own company, but even in the industry, so that when it's the right time to sell your product or sell yourself to get the job, you know, it's not a hard sell. They already know what a fantastic person you are. And then, as we said earlier, building strong and meaningful and productive relationships. It's important what we know, but it's really important who we know. We all agree, right? So it's only through teamwork and only through our connections that we can kind of make bigger things, bigger than who we are. And again, if you are an entrepreneur, you're looking for investments, the deals, the clients, the sales, all those come only with speaking up, speaking out, communicating more, right? It's all like kind of like networking, who knows whom and who can connect us to whom and how well we present in front of them. So this is how we make massive impacts. And then within the organization also, it's just so important to have cross-functional teams communicating really effectively. When we're doing that, there's less miscommunication, less rework, we have increased productivity, and we have lower costs, and we're more efficient. So within an organization too, it just does wonders. I mean, I think we all have enough stories where miscommunication just got us delayed projects, delayed products, more costs, bigger scopes, which is like beyond what the scale of the project was. So communication along with hard work brings in massive impact. One versus the other, like just one or just the other, doesn't do it. They have to go hand in hand. And also then you get the recognition, the rewards, the achievements. That's really important to us too, for a lot of us. For some of us, it may not mean anything, but again, when you work hard, you want to be recognized, maybe get a reward, maybe known, or maybe have the accolades, or maybe known for the person who does this so well, whatever your that is, right? And then you are able to help others with your knowledge base. We want to help, we're all at a certain point in our careers where we want to help others with our knowledge base too. And when we are getting the monetary benefits, the emotional benefits, that also helps us lead into a better lifestyle. What are we all working so hard for? A better lifestyle, to have more time for the things we love and the people we love, right? So when we get those rewards by communicating more about the hard work that we're doing, we start getting all the other things that we are hoping to get in our lives. And on the personal front, if there was that fear of public speaking, you kind of conquer that. You become more confident, you become more articulate, you can influence people. Influencing people is so important, right? Every juncture of our lives, whether it's at work or it's at home or it's in our community, we're constantly needing to influence people. So just to kind of sum it up, this is such a critical skill, communication skills. And a lot of leaders in the world have said it, but the problem is we are left to sink or swim on our own. We were never really trained in this skill. We were never trained in school, in college, at work. A lot of them, some lucky few might have been trained, but most of us are not trained, and we just have to figure it out ourselves. This is kind of like, you know, we'll put you on the blue slopes or the black. I'm not a skier, but here, take your skis and we'll put you on the blue slopes or the black slopes and make your way down there. Not possible, right? Without any kind of training or coaching. All right, so going into mistakes, are you ready? You understand the massive impact that we can have with communication skills. I want to talk about some mistakes that a lot of us make when it comes to communication skills. Now, mistake number one, we do not look at the big picture. This is really important. Now, when I'm talking about communication skills, it's not just one meeting with our boss. It's not just one presentation that they asked us to come make. It's not just one client meeting. It's a bigger, fuller picture. Remember, we want to create visibility around us. We want to create that brand awareness around us because we need to get to our goals, whatever our goal is, to increase the revenue of our enterprise or of our company, to get to that promotion, whatever is our goal, we need to get there. And it doesn't happen with one-off presentation that we were just invited, by the way, to present our data analysis or to talk about the updates on our product, right? So what we need to do, and a lot of us do that, right? We don't take the reins of the horse. We need to hold the horse by its reins and direct it in the direction we want to go in, and not just be pushed around by other people around us. Because if we do that, it's kind of like driving around without a GPS, right? Having no control of your car. So you want to have control of the car so that you can get to your goals. Here's how you solve this mistake. First, you're going to identify your professional goals and your personal goals. Just identifying it up here is not going to work. You want to write them down, okay? Then when we write our goals are always about, okay, I'm going to accomplish this milestone, accomplish that milestone, da, 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 da. We're making the same mistake, right? We're doing all the hard work, but we're not communicating about it. So you want to, along with your milestones, you want to create a strategy and a plan to communicate what you're working on to the people around you, to the key decision makers, to the people and the stakeholders who matter. Whoever those stakeholders are, you will think about them, right? You want your purpose is to be top of mind, and you don't need to talk to them only after the 6-month milestone when the beta of the product is launched. Again, I'll be able to take only 1 or 2 examples, but you kind of get the picture. I invite you to be creative. You want to keep them going with you along that journey. So what you also need to do is not waste any of your opportunities of conversation and communication and sharing all the amazing work you're doing, not only just in these presentations, but in the elevator, by the water cooler, the coffee machine, whatever else, lunch meeting. You want to take those 1-2 minute moments also to just kind of share. Sometimes it could be sharing a challenge that you're undergoing. And the next time you can see them, you tell them, you know what, I was having that challenge. I'm so excited we overcame that. And we had a 3% increase in the sales, or we had 17% increase in the traffic. Also, some of my examples are probably going to be from the retail, luxury, or technology world, because that's my life. But please try to apply it to yourself. So don't waste those moments to not shine a little bit of a gentle light on you, so that people know what you are going to be working on. And it's not only just your own direct people around you, like your peers, yes, definitely those, but try to build relationships with people above you, your boss's peers, your boss's boss, right? It's a very tricky dynamic. You have to do it in a very strategic fashion, but you need to start thinking about, and okay, so I also have a course, which is a 10-week mastermind course, which goes into a lot of details for a lot of different things. So we go into the details of a lot of these things there, but I just want to kind of leave you with a little bit of a nugget here so that you can start thinking about it. So here are some more solutions. Now, for mistake one, as you are doing those presentations or those conversations, don't worry about what they're going to think about me. Focus on, when you're in that presentation or meeting, focus on what kind of value I can provide them. Okay. The other thing, so when you focus on that value, the shift just happens. And when those presentations are made, those are that conversations are made, those are of utmost engagement. The other people are interested in listening to them. So let's say, you know what, we had this data, we had a glitch in the database and we were having problems, but I just identified that, now we fixed it, but I identified that the new data, it's showing me that, again, I'll give you the same example, that we have so much more traffic. Perhaps you're talking to the marketing person. And I think your new campaign is going to be really helpful, or it's going to be really leading to great results because of this increased traffic that we just discovered. So you want to kind of always put it in their corner and how it's going to serve them. You also want to do your own personal SWOT analysis, right? SWOT analysis stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you want to highlight your strengths always and minimize the weaknesses, but at the same time, you want to continue to make both of them better, right? Don't minimize your weaknesses so that they just become detrimental. We want to get better at our weaknesses too. But when you are presenting in front of other people, well, you're not so organized or you're not the best speaker, but instead of that, highlight your strengths. Well, my analysis is really good. And guess what? I am becoming a much better speaker, right? Just blow them away. Wow. Well, Yatri presented so well, or Garrett did such a great job. Well, the last time they presented, I wasn't sure, but now look at that. He just blew me away. That was amazing. All right. Mistake number 2. I'm going to take a sip of water. When you're in a presentation or a meeting, please bring water because there's no point in being like completely parched here and just very dry throat and you can't have a conversation. We ignore the most important entity. Can you guess who that is? You can type it in. I have a picture of them here. The most important entity is the audience. Like I mentioned earlier, everything that you're going to speak or present is going to be tailored and customized to your audience, especially in a presentation setting. Now, your audience could come from different teams, right? So again, if they're finance people or marketing people or technology people or product people, you're going to have to tailor whatever you're going to say based on what's in it for them and what makes sense to them, right? You're not going to give them the kitchen sink. If you're talking to your boss or you're talking to the executives, or if you're talking to people who are reporting to you, if you're talking to your peers, again, you're going to tailor the details, the style of your delivery, the content you put in there based on your audience. You want to understand. So we have a 5-step process to kind of drill down and understand our audience and kind of tailor our speeches. Again, we do that in our 10-week course. But again, you're very smart. You can figure it out. You want to understand where your audience is in terms of your subject matter, right? And what is their understanding? What is their knowledge base? And what's their interest in it? Perhaps they're not interested at all. And how do you bring that in, interested, especially when there's a new idea that you want to share that they've never heard before? How do you whip it up so that it sounds very exciting? I mean, I'm not saying it in a negative way. I mean, there's a way with our words, right? That's how we create excitement and engagement with what we want to say or with our ideas. So your audience is really, really important. So this is what I said. This is the solution. I actually shared my solution up there too. And again, your communication and your presentation is going to be delivered for them. So what's in it for them? This is a term I learned at MIT. I did not know about this term earlier. What's in it for them? It's always keep that mindset, because Again, I can't emphasize enough, when we are at a presentation, we're always thinking about my product, my analysis, my project, my this, I'm so nervous, I hope I look good, what are they gonna think about me? And we never think about the audience that we're going to be presenting to. Can I just tell you something? So I do a lot of presentations like this, and I try to tailor it to my audience. And I think when John Pelly and I were talking about doing this presentation, I'm like, yeah, I've done this many times, so it's not gonna be a problem. But as I was learning more about you guys, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to really tailor it so that I can give you a lot of information and a lot of value, at least from my point of view. You will be the best judge. I hope you like what we're talking about today. So I ended up spending about 3-4 additional hours, days, revamping my presentation so that I can provide you the best value from my personal, from your perspective, from what I know of you. So don't be hesitant to change things around so that it makes sense. And a lot of times, this is also important, a lot of times you don't have to change your presentation completely. The presentation could still be the same, but maybe how you're communicating it, you want to like pick up some of the industry jargons for the people that you're talking to so that it actually makes more sense and they resonate a little bit more with you. If you're a technology person, you want to kind of tailor it to the marketing or the finance people so that they're not lost, so that it's making sense to them. All right, mistake number 3, we focus too much on the presentation deck. Well, I've done it, and I think a lot of you guys have done it. We are working on that presentation deck for the last 2 weeks, and until 5 minutes before the presentation today, we're just working. Oh my gosh, another analysis, another this, another slide, another that, move things around, change my font up here. Really? Seriously? Is that important? I mean, it is important, but I want to tell you something. That deck is not the presentation. If that's a surprise to you, that deck is not the presentation. You are the presentation. The deck is just there as a tool. The presentation is just there as a tool. It's an add-on. It's a complement. You're the presentation. It's about how you present, how you speak, how you use your body language, your posture, your facial expressions, your gestures. Don't be shy to bring your whole self to the presentation. That's how you engage your audience, right? There is a purpose for the deck, and I think in the survey, some of the people talked about the deck, so maybe I'll take a few minutes to highlight the deck. Wow, we have 101 participants here. That's exciting. Thank you so much for joining. I know that you guys are all very busy, so I really applaud you for being here and for taking care of yourselves and your own development. I'm just going to take a little minute here and give yourselves a big round of applause. And this is how we do a big round of applause for yourselves. We make a little circle and we do a big round of applause. This is for you. And then pat yourself on the back. You're doing great. And give yourself a nice tight hug. Richard, do it. I don't see you doing it. Yay, yay. I'm going to look at all of you guys doing it. Smile, guys, smile, smile. We're all healthy. We have food to eat. It's getting harder to get food these days. Ordering those groceries and washing and scrubbing them, it's a pain, right? All right, I digressed. I just added a little bit of a human element because I feel you. I need to connect with you and you need to connect with me. I am no different just because I'm giving a webinar here. I'm no different. We're all the same, right? All right. Okay, I wanted to talk about the deck, the PowerPoint deck. First of all, the PowerPoint deck is a tool for you. It's a bigger tool for you than it is for the audience. And why? Because if you're giving a 1-hour presentation or half an hour, you don't want to have to memorize the presentation. That's too stressful. I'm going to be very nervous if I had to memorize the whole flow of my presentation. So this deck will allow you to stay on track. Secondly, for your audience, it's just good for them, to just kind of stay on point. What is the speaker talking about? So they kind of just get a glance of it, but they shouldn't have everything that they're constantly reading, right? Our audience members, they lose track, right? Our attention span is short. So suddenly we could be thinking about something else, and then we have to come back and we're like, what is the speaker talking about? So it's just good to have it here. And then if you can have some imagery or some charts or graphs to just kind of enhance your presentation, that's nice. Because sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. I have a few images here and there, and those images just take away the need for words also. So that's the purpose of your slide deck. And if you have any charts or graphs, Please don't just say, and according to my chart, you see that the sales have increased and please explain it, because only your mindset, only your analysis, you know what you were thinking when you were creating that chart. So please talk to this. Okay, so this is a period of the last 12 months. And as you can see here in January, we really had a dip. And the dip was actually because whatever the reason was, I don't know, people were off for spring break or whatever else. And now we're so excited that right before COVID hit, February, there was a huge peak. And of course, now we're going down because of COVID. So explain it. Now, also when you're doing that, don't just say based on my analysis, explain to them what went into that analysis. Well, I was working on that analysis for, you know, what triggered this. Tell them the story, right? I wanted to understand our customers' behavior and buying patterns, or so I collected all this information from database A, B, from also some primary research. I ended up going down to our location, our retail outlets, and talking to the customers and gathering all this information. This information has been in the works for the last 3 months. So my team and I have been working on it very seriously. The reason why I ask you to go into the detail of it is because otherwise it's only one chart, right? Nobody knows how much hard work and thought you put into it. Remember, we're showing, we're throwing a floodlight on ourselves, right? A flashlight small, a floodlight. You have to alternate between the two. A dear friend of mine, I was coaching, she's a senior executive at a Fortune 100 company. Similar thing. She said, Jyoti, I really need to help them redo the strategy. So I'm going deep into our systems and understanding all the platforms and this and that. And Jyoti, it's so much work. I'm like, it's good that you're doing it because you're understanding everything for yourself. So then it's going to help you guide your team. She said, nobody at my level does it themselves. They have a huge team. I said, are you telling the decision makers how much hard work you're putting in and how much thought your thought leadership is going into that? No, I'm not. Are you presenting them from time to time and sharing all your thinking and all the details and how you've been flying to 48 of the locations out of your 90 locations? No. I'm like, well, then you're going to be fighting 2 years from now when you need the promotion. You don't want that to happen, right? So you need to start that conversation right now, right? Make it easy for your boss to pound the table for you so that it's just you and nobody else is the choice. Please, for the entrepreneurs, try to apply this to your situations when you are trying to go to the VCs or the clients, etc. If you have created that branding around you about the product, right? How much detail and how much it's a product of love, and how much research went into it, and how you have worked so closely with your customer to produce something that the customer really wants. Share that. And again, you guys know time to time and case by case on the detail that can go into it, but everybody likes to hear that passion story. Share it. All right. Keeping track of time, 6:45. Mistake number 4. We make it too dry, formal, mechanical. We think it's a formal meeting, and we gotta be proper, and we gotta be serious. And I'm going to talk about 3 points in my presentation today. And here is my chart. And I'm done. Guys, keep it, okay, so you are human, they are human. They have a lot going on in their heads. There's a lot of stress. Whoever your audience members are, keep it engaging. Keep it human, right? Here, be yourself. The best version of yourself, right? Dress up and whatnot if you need to, if that's you. But it's not just about dressing up. It's just being the best presentation of yourself. Keep it human, add humor. Build that relationship, right? Keep it conversational. This is very important. Keeping it conversational is a very premium skill or premium tip I want to share with you for 2 reasons. First, it makes it very easy for you because this is how you converse, right? It doesn't take you away from you. You're not trying to be somebody else, right? And secondly, we all connect with the same conversational language. We don't need to make complex structures, sentences, use some fancy words that most people, we have a hard time pronouncing, and some people won't even understand. What's the point? Keep it conversational. What is the purpose? To bring our message across to our audience so that we can somehow inform, inspire, intrigue, and influence them. Influencing is a big one, right? Now, one more thing I want to leave you with is it is stressful when you are with that audience, right? We're just trying to be prim and proper, and the audience could be anyone. It could be 5,000 people, 100 people. It could be a set of potential clients, set of clients, investors, the big wigs at your company, whoever, right? Because everybody we feel is always judging us, and truly they are. So one of the simple things is see. It's a little package I have created for you, and when you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's see, that's pretty simple, I know it. But it's not just about you knowing it, it's about you starting to use it. And you're gonna start using the first part of see right now. It's smile. Let me see you all smile. Smile, smile, smile. Yes, thank you. Smiling is important. Why is it important? It improves your face value. You start feeling happier. When you start feeling happier, you do better. Smiling diffuses any kind of tension between you and the other persons that you're going to be speaking with, right? When you smile to them, they smile back at you. When you're making eye contact with them, they make eye contact with you. You're like, oh, okay. They like me. All right, so that's good energy. I think they like me. I'm going to do okay in this presentation today. Okay, so that's good. Smile also breaks any kind of barriers, prejudices, whatever there are, right? So smiling and eye contact, super duper important, even in our everyday lives. We want to use smile as much as possible. You're feeling stressed, there is nobody else around you, smile just for yourself. I promise you're going to start feeling better. That's okay, go ahead, take a picture, remember it, see. And the last, so E, the second E is eye contact. The third E is energy. Energy is so important. So when you come to a presentation or a meeting, you want to bring your highest level of energy. Why? You will see why. So guys, it's so nice to see you here today. And thank you so much for taking the time and being with me today. And we're going to go through these three critical things: see, smile, eye contact, and energy. Are you connecting with me? Do you even want to listen to me? Like, no, walk out on me already, right? Bring that energy, because that energy is the most important criteria for a fantastic presentation versus an presentation. And that energy it's like literally a switch. It goes up, down very easily. And a lot of times you would have had the worst day. You would be exhausted. You would be tired. You have a headache. It has happened many times to me. I'm speaking on stages. I'm speaking to different people, some important meetings, and you're nervous, whatever is happening. But right before that, right before you go on, that energy plug has to go on. And you just have to bring the best game. I don't know how you would bring your best energy forward. Maybe if you have some ideas, I'd love for you to share it here. I just kind of talk to myself. I just kind of change my mindset. I'm going to bring my highest energy forward. I love them. I have the best value for them. I think they're going to enjoy it. And we'll see how it happens, right? What happens. So just come with the highest level of energy. I can't emphasize enough. Energy is so important. I have seen some really seasoned executives up on stage, and it's just like very monotonous and really blah, and it's hard for us to connect with them. So energy, very, very important. And a lot of times we come with lower energy for two reasons. One is nervousness, because we're so nervous. The second is because we think it's too formal, right? A lot of our presentations, the stakes are very high. But when you come with high energy, I'll also tell you two things happen. You exude more confidence. This is very important. You exude more confidence. And when you exude more confidence, what happens? The people that you're speaking to, they think you're more of an authority figure. You come with low energy, you seem like low authority. So a lot of the things that I'm talking about, like little ideas, they all lead to creating a perception of you having more confidence, which in turn creates you more as an authority. All right. So a little rah-rah for energy, woo! Sometimes I do a little energy dance, but today I think we are a little short on time and I did not cue up my music, so we're not gonna be doing, sorry, maybe if we have time. All right, so enrich and liven up with stories. So this is one of my secrets, which I like people, I mean, it's not a secret anymore, but I have a fine jewelry company also, and we were the first ones to launch fine jewelry that was designed to tell your personal story. So I've been doing storytelling for over a decade. And that time storytelling wasn't a big thing. Right now, you all know storytelling is really big, right? So what's your story? So what's the narrative here? So what's this or what's this? But we are still hesitant to use stories. Again, no matter what the formality of the situation is, right? You want to bring your point across with stories because first of all, stories are relatable, right? They're evocative, they're creative. They really bring across one point, but it kind of connects with people on multi-dimensional, because you can't even use words for a lot of different emotions and dynamics, and the stories can do it. And most importantly, I don't know if I said it already, stories are memorable. From a lot of presentations that I've heard, Sean, thank you so much for smiling at me. You're being a great audience member. You know exactly who you are. Thank you. All right, I'll talk about that in a second. So a lot of the stories that a lot of the big presentations that I've heard from people, I may not remember anything about the whole presentation, but it's one or two nuggets of the stories that they said, which I really remember. One really, Fortune 5 CEO, his story was around horseback riding, just stuck with me. One CEO's presentation, I don't remember anything at all because there were no storytelling. So I think you would agree, right? It's the stories that just resonate so much more with us, right? All right, speaking of being an engaged audience, communication, this is like a sidetrack. Communication skill is a two-way street, right? So we speak and we listen with our ears, but also with our eyes and our faces, right? So if you can be fantastic audience, which I know you guys are engaged right now, just smile at me, nod at me. I'm looking at your video, so I would really appreciate it. And then bring this to, thank you, Kelly, for smiling. I love it. Thank you, Dennis. I love it. Thank you, Bertil. Hi. So nice to see all of you guys. Lawrence, hi. I see you, Lawrence. Larry. So, and I don't know most of these people. Most of you are new to me. Larry, I know Larry. Do this also in your real life too. When you are in the audience seat, being a speaker is very hard. Being a presenter is hard. Oh, you all know it. It's not easy. Just give them a smile, a nod. When you do it, you boost their confidence. And if you are the speaker, just smile back at the people, and they'll smile back at you, and it will give you that dose of energy. It's like vitamin C. When you smile and make eye contact and bring that energy and you radiate that out to them, you kind of get it back most of the time, unless they're like a black box and they absorb all of it and they don't give it back to you. But they radiate back at you, and it does wonders. It's kind of like, for you, it would be like a very healthful green boosty juice, or it could be like the new battery for the Energizer Bunny. It works wonders. I know a lot of speakers, and I think you guys would attest to this. It's just like the interaction with the audience members is what makes the whole communication and presentation very interesting. And people these days are having a hard time because we're now doing webinars and you don't see the facial expressions and you can't interact with your audience members. And that's why I'm trying to make it a little bit interactive as much as possible. Okay, everybody, all in favor of stories, say aye. All right, thank you. We want to add stories. And there's a process to stories. I mean, you can start inserting stories. There's a structure. There's a, I think, 6-step story structure. I create a story hill. There is like what's the length of your story? What's the duration? Where do you add to your story? What kind of story you want to add based on, again, your audience and your location of doing the presentation. All right. So I said the presentation is not the deck. The presentation is you. And one of the most important parts of you is what? The voice, right? Our friend Maya Angelou said, spoken words mean more than what's written on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with deeper meaning, right? Totally makes sense. I mean, I don't need to explain this. It's only how you communicate it. Your message comes across in a powerful way or like no way at all. I don't want to even call it less powerful, like no way. So voice, work with your voice, have the modulations, have the intonations, have the excitement in your voice, have a little bit of drama, again, depending upon where you're at. You guys are all smart. You'll use judgment to use the right type of excitement and energy in the right places. So this is very important. Now, there are so many different things around voice that you can do, and I'm going to run through them because there's no way you're going to remember it, but I just want to touch upon them. The speed, the pace, the intonation, the pitch, the expression, the projection, the pause, the emphasis. All right, wrap it out with me. The speed, the pace, the intonation, the pitch, the expression, the projection, the pause, the emphasis. Did you wrap it with me? You didn't. Cool, I see Virgil doing it. Good. All right, you memorize it, all right? There's a quiz in the end, okay, guys? No, just kidding. You don't need to memorize it. All right, so you won't remember it. It's okay. If you don't remember it, I won't be offended. There's more. The content, the structure, the gestures, the conversation, the body language, the posture, the space, the movement. All right, wrap it out. the content, the structure, the gestures, the conversation, the body language, the posture, the space, the movement. All right, so that's a lot. I don't expect you to know it, to remember it. What I did is I create a itty bitty small package for you, which you will remember, and this is this. These are important things. Save. Remember, save. It will always save you. First, S stands for speed. It is very important for us to speak at a moderate pace, moderate speed. You know why? Because a lot of times we are too nervous. We think that what we have to say, our audience is more important than us. So what we have to say is not going to be of importance to them. So we're going to rush through the whole presentation, and so that we're done, and we're not going to be nervous anymore. And then we're going to relieve them. We're going to relieve ourselves, and we're going to really speak fast. And we made a really bad impression when we spoke so fast. We don't want to do it. When you speak at a moderate pace, have you heard really, think about a really good speaker that you admire? They speak at a moderate pace. They put emphasis on their words. They add pauses when they speak. Now, let me tell you something really important. Well, I have nothing important to say. I'm just kind of creating that pause. But you see, right, how you don't have to fill up every space of air. Like every airwave doesn't have to ride with your words, right? There has to be spaces, and that just gives your audience more time. Oh, she's going to say something important. What do I like? Okay, it draws them in, right? It also gives them some time to digest. A lot of the things you're going to say, your audience is not thinking about them. It's new to them. So you want to kind of keep at a moderate pace. Not too slow either. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, he clapped at me if you're wondering what happened. Okay, thank you. And sometimes I don't see everybody. Gordon, thank you so much. All right, second is articulate. A stands for articulate. Articulate is basically, using the right choice of words, right sentence structures, right content, so that your message is coming across in the best possible way, right? Now, with articulate, I also want to add one more thing, which is really important. It's with an E, but that's okay. Enunciate, because you're speaking. So enunciate, a lot of times, again, when it's our mother tongue or it's our first language, we speak so fast that we just kind of blur our words out. I don't know how to not enunciate, because again, this is how I speak. But we want to be very conscious about enunciating, because your message is not going to be clear, right? You know what I'm talking about. Like our words kind of get wrapped up in this gooey, gunky fuzziness, and then it's just really hard to understand for the other person to see it, right? You guys understand? So just pay proper attention to enunciate almost all the syllables that you can. Volume, this is common sense, right? Volume, we want to come up with a nice high volume depending on the size of the room and the size of the audience. The hard part comes when we're naturally very soft spoken or soft volume, lower volume. So there are exercises you can do to increase the scale of your volume and your voice. Again, going back to my childhood, I used to be the shyest, quietest child in my class. I never raised my hand, never spoke anything. So I naturally had a very low, deep voice. And then gradually, as I started speaking more and doing more plays and speeches, etc., my pitch started getting higher. And then I think they made me the class leader. So we had to like scream on top of our lungs to all the other students, be quiet, don't make so much noise, the teachers are gonna be here. So I think that really helped me increase the scale of my pitch. But you can do it at home. You can just do do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. I'm not a singer, but I'm just giving a hint. That's how you can increase your volume. Also, when you have a higher volume, it marries really well with greater energy. If you come with greater energy, I think your volume will be higher, or if you start with higher volume, your energy will be greater. So they go hand in hand. Expression is the E, right? That's the final E. We can't do without that. That's really, really important. If I were to highlight one of them, that's expression. There are 5 ways, or maybe 6 ways, we'll figure it out. You're gonna count with me. Expression is really important if you want to engage your audience. The first set of expression comes from your face. Second set of expression comes from your eyes, right? Because when you're talking, yes, and Fatim said gestures. The gestures are gonna be expressions. Yes, thank you. Then the choice of words you're using will give you your expression. So that's 4, right? Then your body language. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. This is how we speak to our friends, right? We don't talk to, oh my gosh, I was so excited. We don't talk to our friends like that. We add, everything plays along. Is it 5? There was one more, 6. I think I'm not doing justice to you by not sharing the sixth one. Voice modulation, that also kind of works with the expression. So there are 6 things that bring expression through for your presentation. 702. All right, so now this is going to be, so far what we've done, I'm just gonna do a little review. We've gone over how your communication skills along with your hard work are going to make a massive impact. You can work hard as long as you want. Most of us are not going to reap the rewards that we want. You have to communicate, right? You have to communicate to sell, you have to present to sell, etc., etc. And you're selling not just your product, you're selling yourself also. Then we went over 4 mistakes that we make and the solutions. So we're just wrapping up the solutions. We wrapped up the solution. And then we went over some of the things that we can do with our voice, right? So we have the see and the save. Bring them with you. Never forget them. They're easy words to remember. You see every day and you want to be saved, right? See and save. Now we're going to move into the nervousness part of the situation of that. How many of us do get nervous when we have to speak to anybody? I mean, whenever, like different situations, we get nervous, present, speak. Raise your hand. And I'm raising my hand too. It doesn't matter how many years. I've been doing this for 30 years, but it doesn't matter. We still get nervous. John and I were actually meditating right before this while you guys were in the waiting room. So it's okay. All right, but the good thing is you're not alone. The fear of public speaking, that nervousness, which is also known as a very fancy word, glossophobia, I'm only trying to impress you with my vocabulary here, is believed to affect up to 75% of the population. So if you are the 25% who does not get nervous, my friend, you're kind of alone. The rest of us, we are part of this big tribe. We all love you. Even if you don't get nervous, we like you too. That's fine. All right. So, but the good thing is it can be taken care of. Don't be afraid, right? There's so many different things you can do to manage that nervousness. First and foremost thing, mind. You have to work with your mindset. It's all up here. Your mind is your co-creator. It's your goal achieving machine. You say here, I can do it. You can. You say, I can't do it, whatever it is, you won't. I promise you won't. We all agree, right? It's all the mindset. So once your mindset changes, everything on the outside will change along with it. And here are some of the mindset shifts that we want to share. I think there was something else I wanted to say before I went to the new slide. Okay, so that's a mindset shift. We're going to talk about some of the mindsets. I also want to remind you that success is where preparation and opportunity meet. You have to identify, remember mistake 1 we make? We want to create opportunities for ourselves and we have to grab the opportunity. You run into the CEO in the elevator, it's not about the weather, my friend. It's about the fantastic thing that you just accomplished yesterday or this morning or last week. That's what you're going to spend your 30 seconds in the elevator with the CEO or SVP or whoever it is, right? So success is where preparation and opportunity meet. You have been asked to present to this potential client, investor, executives, whoever, right? You do preparation. I told you, I mean, I do this a lot. This is like, I speak a lot, but I spent so much time preparing for this presentation. I was kind of surprised myself, but I wanted to give the best value to you as much as I can, right? So you have to do that. You have to prepare. Now, in terms of preparation, okay, a lot of times, again, I'm going to go back. We think about preparation as like the deck. I mean, that's what I remember. We've had friends who worked at the top 4 consulting firms. I've worked at some large tech firms. We just worked on the deck. But that's just not it. The deck has the 3 bullet points, and the next page has a picture, and the next page has a chart, and the next page has 4 bullet points. But how are you going to fill that space? How are you going to tell the stories? So there are 2 things you could do. First of all, you're going to start writing your presentation or your talk as soon, even if it's a one-on-one conversation, you're going to do it as soon as you find out you're going to talk, right? You have maybe 1 week's notice, you have 2 days notice, you have, I don't know, you have 2 weeks notice, whatever you have. You're going to start writing. You're going to put the bullets down. You're going to keep filling the bullets in. You'll see where the holes are. You need to put in data. You need to put examples. You need to put stories. You need to start working on it right away. I know you have other things to do too. This is not your full-time job. You're still doing your full-time job. But the thing is, can I tell you a secret? I sometimes like to push things off, but when it comes to my presentations, I hate putting things off because I just don't like the feeling of looking like a fool in front of other people. That's just too much at stake. I can't handle that. And I'm sure you can't either. So start working on it. Now, one more thing. Now, again, we're not talking about like the structure. Again, in my 10-week mastermind course, we talk about the structure, what you need to add, how do you start with the hook, how do you conclude. Oh, can I tell you one more? Okay, okay, it's not part of my presentation today, but you want to start with the hook. There are so many different formats of hooks, but you want to end with a very solid conclusion. You can summarize it, you can do whatever, but you have to have a call to action in your conclusion. Okay, if you don't have the call to action, you just wasted an opportunity to get people to do something that you want them to do. Remember, again, to mistake one, we always have a goal that we're moving towards. So we are presenting in front of these people for a reason. Okay, please hold me true to this. If I don't have a call to action at the end of this, email me. I mean, that would not be good. That I wouldn't be talking, I wouldn't be walking my own talk. But I don't remember if I have a call to action, but we'll see. All right, practice a bunch of bananas. Just kidding. Practice a bunch. A lot of us, again, we show up. We're working till like 5 minutes before that presentation. Did we have time to practice? Did we? A lot of us, how many of us don't practice so much or not at all before a presentation? Right? Not good. It makes us nervous. First and foremost, it makes us nervous. So practice as much as you can so that you're comfortable, and then you can move things around too. My back was starting to hurt. So I'm adding the human aspect of it, right? I've been sitting upright for some time, so my back was starting to hurt. So I was thinking that I'm in my office by myself, so I could sit up like this, but I can't. All right. Now, going back to the mindset. You're going into that presentation meeting, whatever you have, you're starting to get a little shaky, a little nervous, right? Now you have to know this. Believe that you are good. How can you believe that you're good? Well, first of all, that you are good. You have to have that self-love. You know you are good, but you understood your audience. You did the homework. You did the research. You wrote a good presentation. You worked hard at your presentation. You practiced. You are good. You better be good by this time. And you have the knowledge. They're asking you to present because you are the expert, or if you are not, you're going to study it up. You're going to do the research and start becoming the subject matter expert or expert in that area, right? So you have the knowledge. And remember, was that mistake number 2, the audience, right? We ignore our audience. We always want to make sure that we give them whatever is what's in it for them, how we can add value to them. In the end, it could be something for you, it's fine, but you still have to, if you want to engage your audience, you have to give them value, right? So when you do these things, it just gives you confidence, right? Okay, here's a good example. When I worked at one of these really prominent companies, I'm not going to take names. So there was this business partner who used to come and pitch to us, and she had this beautiful show. And again, this brand we were working with our brand was very high, elevated, high esteem. And I really liked her. We created a relationship, and I said, how do you do it? Like, don't you get nervous when you're going to all these fantastic brands and pitching to your show to them? No, Jyoti, not at all. I'm like, how do you do that? Because I would be nervous doing that to all these prominent brands. She said, Jyoti, because I know my product or my show is amazing, and it's going to be really great value for them, and it's going to be really great for their clients. And that's how I love my product, and I know it's going to be fantastic. I'm like, wow, that's something profound. And that's how you create that belief system and how you walk in with the most confidence to any presentation. My product, which is me, my actual product or presentation, my offer is going to be fantastic. It's going to add value to my audience. And that's how I walk in with that strong belief system, which is unwavering to a limit, to a certain extent. All right, moving to next slide. Now here's one more. So let's see. You're still getting a little nervous. All that, things, all those things I said, maybe they work to a certain degree, but then there's still that element of nervousness, questioning yourself, doubting yourself. There's another thing you can do. Transform yourself into your super avatar. So different people do it differently. You can call it method acting. You have to take it to the limit that works for you. So you want to, there's 2 things. So who knows Sasha Fierce? Who knows about Sasha Fierce? The girls in this room? Sasha Fierce, anybody? No, okay. Who knows about Beyonce? Who's Beyonce? Who knows? All right, we all know Beyonce. Well, Sasha Fierce and Beyonce are the same person. So you think Beyonce is this fantastic performer and, you know, so confident, etc. She's very sweet. Like, she's a very sweet, like, calm person. If you see her in different interviews, you see the real Beyonce, but on stage, she's a different person. It's hard for her to go out in those, what are those things called? I don't know, the outfits, whatever she wears, and the stilettos, and be a certain, you know, sassy person. It's not easy. So she has created this alter ego, or this avatar of hers. She calls it Sasha Fierce. When she kind of meditates or visualizes herself into it, and I am confident, I can go out there and be my best, do my thing, and I'm going to be fantastic. And, you know, the crowd is going to love me. I'm going to do it. And that's how she kind of transforms her personality into that. She's still the same person, but it's up here, she thinks. Now, you don't have to become like that, Sasha Fierce. What you can do is you can create either you can think about somebody else that you really want to emulate, or you look up to, like another good speaker or superhero. It could be a life hero. It could be anybody, a mentor, or just a better version of yourself. I personally just kind of create like a better version of myself in my head, more confident, more upright version of myself when I walk into a room. Again, I said, I've been doing this for 30 years, but I'm also human. We all kind of get weak. We all have our, you know, pitfalls, our shortcomings. So it's not like we're always confident at all times. We have to kind of work on it all the time. So I transform in that, and it just does wonders. It just kind of allows me to be the most confident self that I can be. Do I want to say anything else here? Yeah, I think that's it. So if you have a paper and pencil, can you just write down maybe 1 or 2 or 3 names that you could be like, or you want to be like, or maybe a version of you. Can draw it out. You can maybe explain, maybe it's another version of you with like a cape. Just do a stick figure. I just want you to kind of have something later on when you go back and give it a name. Give it a name for yourself. Do that. Take like 30 seconds and do it. I'm not going to judge you for your artistic skills. You can show me a picture if you have, like if you want to. All right. As you're going to write that, I'm going to skip to the next slide. All right, this is so important. Meditate, visualize, breathe. These are 3 different things, but I'm going to combine them in the interest of time because they're kind of going hand in hand. Meditation is really powerful. It calms you down. It zones you in. It draws all the positive energy. How many of you guys meditate? Let me just see. If you all meditate, then I'm not going to talk much about meditation. Okay. Good. Meditation is really helpful. So again, I'm going to be very honest, right? So when you want to do a good job, you do have those butterflies, the anxiousness and whatever. The whole day I've been kind of anxious about this because I wanted to do a good job. So I had to meditate multiple times today just to calm myself down, right? You also want to visualize how you're going to be speaking. And you can do it not just right before your performance or right before the meeting. You can do it for the last 7 days, last 1 month, whatever it is, right? You want to imagine what a good time you're having doing that. You want to also imagine how the audience is engaged with you. Maybe they'll give you a standing ovation. I mean, visualize it. If you don't visualize it, you don't get it. You may get it, right? So maybe you get that deal. Maybe you get that client. You want to visualize, put all your emotion into it, and then feel how you're going to feel when your desired goal through that communication is going to come through. You got the deal. Oh my gosh, the client signed that $500,000 deal. Woo, woo, woo. I'm going to be so excited, right? Whatever it is. Then breathe. Breathing is really good, probably right before, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes before it, because a lot of us still are anxious. Again, a lot of you are great speakers yourselves, right? But breathing just calms us down. Breathing, and when you're breathing, you want to observe the breath going into your tummy and then observe it coming out with your closed eyes. You kind of know what I'm talking about, right? And you breathe, it calms you down, it slows down your heartbeat. It also, again, people who meditate, it connects you with the universe and brings in that universal energy. And again, your positive affirmation, your visualization kind of be part of that. So it's really, really helpful. These are scientific. I'm not going into the science part of it, but these really help. There's a lot of scientific proofs around these things. I'm assuming a lot of you guys love sports, right? Most of our sports heroes, they visualize, they meditate, they breathe. Actually, I have to tell you, all the leaders, not all, but a large majority of the business leaders meditate. large majority of the celebrities meditate, maybe politicians meditate. I'm not going into the political realm, but oh well, you get the picture, right? This is really big. Now, this is so important. Armor your confidence. This is really critical. So you did all these great things. You did all the work. You understood your audience. You wrote the great speech. You are working on your meditation and everything else. And you dressed really nice. Okay, one more thing. Dress your best when you're going into that presentation or conversation or meeting. Do your hair and makeup. Girls, a lot of us, we like to wear our heels. Guys, if you haven't tried heels, really try them. They work like wonders. You know, give you good posture. All right. Practice your heels before you walk in with them. Okay. Now you're doing your best. You are coming in with the confidence, and you are in that hall, the room, the meeting room, whatever else. Oh my gosh, this is a bigger audience than I expected. Oh my gosh, the audience is all the MIT people. They're so smart. It doesn't matter if I went to MIT or not, but oh my gosh, they're all lawyers. They're all entrepreneurs. They're all successful. They're all VCs. They're all the exec, whoever they are. Or somebody says, or somebody looks better than you, or somebody has a nicer handbag than you. Anything, or the self-doubt starts creeping. These things start creeping in, right? Oh, you know what? My slides weren't looking as good as I wanted them to. Oh, okay, I was eating pasta and then my white shirt has a little red spot over here. Whatever it is. What if I am not so good? These creep in. So I want to tell you this. At this point, our self-esteem, no matter how much work you have done, you have to do that previous work too, is like cellophane. It's like saran wrap. Remember the one we can easily poke a hole. A negative thought can actually not poke a hole. It can be like waves on a beach, and your beautifully crafted sand castle is washed away. It's deconstructed, washed away, and your castle is all the work that you did on your presentation and yourself, right? So when you've done all this work, you're going to dress yourself and your confidence in an armor like that. Take a picture of that armor, keep it on your phone, save it. You're going to dress it in that armor, and nothing in this world is going to harm you or attack you or lower your confidence, lower your self-esteem. You're going to walk in there as like a boss. You're going to do a fantastic job like a boss, and you're going to be golden, or whatever that pewter color that is. All right, this armor is really important. This comes in, I mean, I feel this many times, and then I have to quickly turn on that switch again and work with that. So I have invested, I'm going to invest in this armor. I don't know how much these things are, but I'm going to actually. Okay, that's a joke. You don't have to walk in with that armor, but you can, you know what I'm saying. It's a metaphor. All right. Now, how are you guys feeling? Good? Are you ready to overcome those challenges? Yeah, yeah. Are you ready to reap those rewards? Get those raises, those promotions, the bonuses, the new clients, the investors, the whoever, the new girlfriend, the new boyfriend. I mean, yeah, all these things can be used for that too. The new pet, the new husband, the new wife. I'm just kidding, just kidding. That's inappropriate, sorry. Just kidding. All right, you want. Now, I want you to write down in the chat box, what are 2 to 4 things? It could be also 6 things, that's fine. That jumped out at you. They don't have to be brand new that you heard today. Something that just resonated, something that just made sense. Please write it in the chat box. And also, what are you going to commit yourself to doing? I'll promise you something today. A lot of us listen to podcasts, watch different videos, go to webinars, we read books, right? We don't commit, we don't do anything. I forget things right away. So I want you to write this down, and you're going to write it not only in the chat box, but also in your notebook for yourself. You're going to commit 2 to 3 things you're going to commit to yourself that you'll be doing. And please write in the chat box too, so that I understand. I'm just going to look at that chat box. What's the chat box? Okay. Write that down, write it down for yourself. Now, I want you to also write for yourself, what is the projected value when you accomplish it, right? So you want to start doing these things to become a better communicator, to get to your massive impact, get to your goals. What is your projected value? Let's say it's the new bonus. Let's say it's the promotion to being a VP, a director, whatever. Let's say it's, I don't know, to get that $500,000 worth of investment or whatever, $10 million worth of investment, whatever it is. What is the projected value when you become this amazing communicator and you start getting it? You can write in the chat box too, because I'd love to see it. What's in it for them? I'm just reading. I'm not going to take your name. Valued member of the workplace, winning new clients. See and save. You're going to use that. Confidence is key. Be the presentation. Know your audience. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you did not accomplish it, what is the pain that you're going to feel? What is the cost that you're going to have to pay for yourself? We need to know that, right? We're smart people. We're analytical. We're doing cost benefit analysis, right? We're looking at the ROI. So what's the ROI or the return on cost? I mean, I don't know. What's the ROI for you to invest in yourself and spend the time to become a better speaker, better communicator, versus not doing it? What's the cost for you? Are you writing it? Because you need to understand it. You will only focus on something that has an ROI, right? It either makes you feel good or it has a tangible return. That's only when you're going to do it. Otherwise, you just wasted this 1.5 hours with me. So I don't want you to waste your time. I want you to make it actionable for you. And if you're writing it in the chat box, I really appreciate it. I would love for you to write in the chat box, but I also want you to write it down in your paper so that you can go back. And if you have a highlighter or like make a circle with your pen, you're going to go back. And also please put in the time when you're going to do it. Put a timeline against this. Okay, starting today, I am going to do more C. Even with, and who are you going to practice with? The family members, the Zoom calls you're going to have with people at work, the birds outside the window, the deer who are walking around. Some people are probably getting leopards in their neighborhoods. I mean, this is true. I'm not making this up. We do get big bear in our neighborhood sometimes. I live in New Jersey. All right, moving on. Now, and what can you do to become the best speaker and communicator to maximize your success potential? What can you do? Write this down. To become, it's not just, okay, maybe you said get better with the audience, get better with my articulation, but what are the other things that you are going to commit to doing to become the best speaker and communicator to maximize your success potential so that you can get those massive results? And by the way, one more thing I want to say, it's not just results in our careers. These all things have very positive, not trickle down, but have like, shower effects in our personal lives too. When you do perform well, you have more resources to spend with your family. You have more time, hopefully, to spend with your family and other things. And once you become a good communicator, you also, when you start using C with people at work, you're going to start using it with people at home too. You had a fight with your spouse, just smile and then say sorry and make eye contact and hug them with good energy. You have other family members around you, smile. That just kind of dissipates that tension. All right, you guys wrote it? Let's see what people are writing. All right. I'm going to open it up to questions very soon, 7:25. Gift 1, that's the free course. It's a cute little course, but it's very helpful. We talk about mindset shifts. I think there are different mindset shifts than we've covered today, and there are some handy tips that you can, there are actionable tips that you can start using right away. So please take advantage of that. And 1 hour of free coaching, I mean, that's of great value. I mean, I don't want to put dollar amount to it because I'm a little bashful about it, but please take advantage of it. And I think I might only have slots for first 10 people because my calendar is getting booked. All right, this is how you will get in touch with me if you do want to, if you have questions about anything. And also, once you enroll, I do have a lot of other resources which you can, I'll share with you. So just take a picture of this. This is how you can get in touch with me. You took notes about that earlier too. I think people are writing. I'll take a little water break. I should have invited you to join us today with a glass of wine or a bottle of beer, but it's too late. You can do it now. We're gonna hang up soon, or while we're doing question and answers, you can do that. Oh, this was a 3 vowels. This is a little bonus for today. All right, I'm just gonna do this quickly. The vowels of audience. A is aligned with your audience, right? You can remember this, align with your audience. E is the energy reverberation that we talked about, exchange of energy. You exude energy, they give energy back to you. I is inform, insight, give them insights, inspire them, inquire with them. This is the more you inquire, the more you learn about them, and then you also engage them. I'm asking a lot of questions here. I'm inquiring, right? That's how I'm engaging you. You intrigue them with whatever content you have. And final goal is what? You will influence them, right? You observe them. You're observing them before your presentation, during your presentation, and after your presentation. And you is understand, which is so important. We're all human beings. We need to have empathy and we need to understand each other. I think that's it, my friends. We can open it up to question and answers. 7:33. Wow, right on the dot. All right, keep your videos on, guys. I love seeing your smiley faces. So if you have not shared your lovely face with us so far, please do so. Ask us questions. Now, the best form for asking questions might be just to type it up in the chat. All right. Yes, I'm taking questions. Perfect timing, Christy. So will you be sharing the deck with the audience? I am not sure yet if I'm sharing the deck. If we're sharing the deck, then it will come as an email or to you later. A lot of people ask that. Okay. Okay. All right, questions. Please ask us questions. Anybody wanting to type in questions in the chat box, and I will read them out and try to answer them. Can you elaborate on armoring your confidence? Yes. By armoring our confidence, I mean that our confidence is very delicate, especially when you have to present, and especially when the stakes are huge, right? So it is a mindset. It's an imaginary thing. I do it two ways. What I usually do is either I cover myself completely in an armor, in my mind's eye, I imagine, or I create an igloo-like armor, like an igloo made of iron around me. So if any negative thoughts are coming to me, they don't penetrate into my being. They don't penetrate anywhere close to me, into my psyche or my mind, because at that time it's a very precarious time for me as a speaker or presenter to be bothered or be bogged down or to be brought down by any negative thoughts. So what I imagine is, let's say I have this armor around me. If any negative thoughts by myself or by somebody else come to me, it kind of comes in like this, like an arrow, and it shoots right back. Or it's like an imaginary ray of energy, negative energy, and it shoots right back. That's how I work on armoring my mind and myself. I hope that's helpful. Women often get knocked down for being too strident, pushy. How can women be forceful while not scaring the guys? Yeah, I know, that's just so tough, right? And us as women, we have to kind of balance being too nice and kind and versus being pushy. Just kind of be yourself, be kind of in the middle. Also, just use a specific set of terminology and the way of speaking where you are not maybe necessarily being perceived as very forceful, but you're using the right emphasis on your words and right pauses so that there is weight and there is gravitas in what you're saying. Now, you can be pushy in that moment, right? Not you, but like somebody may be perceived pushy in that moment. Or it could be persistent pushy, right? Your boss did not understand, did not hear you. But you know what? If we are not being pushy, we're not taking things forward. Nobody influences anybody in one shot, right? It takes multiple turns, multiple communication opportunities to convince somebody or to influence somebody. Somebody just told me that for change management, there has to be 21 touch points, 21 times somebody hears it. That's how the change starts happening. The other thing is developing as women, or even as men, developing a thick skin. I mean, it's their judgment, it's their thinking that we're being pushy, because people, a lot of times they're afraid of women being out there. They just want us to be just too soft and just take orders. Maybe just ignore it if somebody said that to you. You just want to be persistent. Or the other thing you can do is just kind of frame your conversation, you know, and put what's in it for them. So I think I'm still answering Christy's question. So, you know, we have this great project, and I know it costs, you know, it costs a lot of money for us to roll this out, but we can do it in phases. And the benefit to your team and to you is A, B, C, and to the larger organization is B, D, F, right? So if you can kind of turn it around in their way, that would kind of come across as not being pushy from your side, but also being beneficial to a larger group. I hope that's helpful. Again, you know, this is a very big topic, and just one, it'll be like 2-3 things may not work, right? You have to try different things. What is the best way to add humor to a presentation? Okay. First, be yourself. Second, practice. Humor comes with practice. If you're naturally humorous, please take advantage of it. A lot of us are not naturally humorous. I think I have a tough time adding humor, but sometimes it will become funny when it just kind of hits the right spot. The other thing is humorous has to, this is how humor, I experiment a lot with humor, and I work with my students a lot to experiment with humor and add humor. So one other way to do, this is the formula for humor. You're talking about something else, and then suddenly you have to say something unexpected that your audience wasn't expecting. Still appropriate, but your audience wasn't expecting. And that usually turns into, it becomes humor when the audience wasn't expecting it, and it is lighthearted. It may or may not work, and that's why humor needs practice. Even stand-up comedians practice a lot. Let's say they write 100 jokes, maybe 10 jokes actually get a laugh, right? The rest of the jokes either get thrown away or get edited so that they actually work for them. So it's practice. Humor is kind of tough. The easiest thing, my friend, is to use some kind of jokes which are appropriate or which kind of tie into the situation. So that's how I would say. What is your advice on opening a presentation the first 30 to 60 seconds? A hook. A hook could be multiple things. It could be a question which will really connect with your audience. Now, what's the weather is like, that's not a question, right? So a question that connects with their pain point or something that you're talking to, but it has to relate to the audience. It could be an interesting data point. It could be, by data, I don't, interesting fact, interesting information. It could be a quote, an intriguing quote, or a story. So I could start my conversation. I was thinking about starting my conversation about my story about the downturn, economic downturn and the layoffs. And then I thought I need a little bit more framing in today's conversation. So I didn't just start with that. If I was on stage, I could have done it that way. So again, you have to practice and see what works with what audience. You can start with a story also. I'm going back up. Sorry, just be patient. Oh, wow. I'm taking questions in the order they came in. Okay. Okay. Slides will let you know if they're available, then you'll get an email. Okay. Okay. So I am going in the order, so that's pretty good. What is the best way to add? We talked about that. What do you get? Okay. How do you get over having a poor start and being underprepared? How do you deal with it, with the know-it-all people that challenge you, they turn the audience against you and undermine your authority? Tough, very tough. First of all, you should not be underprepared. I mean, there's really no reason, because you're going to do yourself disservice and you're wasting your audience's time by being underprepared. Just there's no reason for you to enter. Maybe there could be a reason. Maybe you were very busy. I understand. But maybe then create a smaller speech which you can prepare for and do a good job at that. A poor start can happen, but here is one simple tip that you can use to prevent poor start. And poor start is maybe like you stammered, you did not engage right away. Okay, something like that. I never tell my students to ever memorize their speeches, because that's bad. Because your delivery is not going to be good. You're going to forget something. You're going to be very nervous about forgetting your speech. So you're never going to memorize your speech. But I ask you to memorize the first 2 or 3 sentences of your speech, so that exactly for that reason, so that you have a fantastic start. And there is another purpose to it. It's not just about having a fantastic start. It's about giving you that boost of confidence. Oh, well, and to be honest, the simplest, I don't want you to start like this, but the simplest way is like, hello, let's say it's on stage, right? Hello, everybody. It's so great to see all these good looking faces here. How are you all doing? Fine, that's fine. If you didn't have a fancy start, that's okay. But you said it, it was well practiced, well rehearsed, you said it. Oh, well, I could do that. If I could do those 2 lines, I think I can do a good job. The audience reacted back at you. Sometimes they won't answer you back. You say the same thing again. Hello, everybody. How are you? Are you doing okay? Then they'll talk back with you, right? And then you have positive energy coming towards you. Okay, the audience is engaged. I can do this. I got a connection. I can do the rest of the speech really well. So that's good. Now, how do you deal with know-it-all people that challenge you? Okay, so that's a really tough one. Some people are out there to just put you down. And a couple of things you can do. First, a simpler thing is this. Sometimes people have a hard time with answering questions, right? We're always worried about, what if they ask me a question I don't know? You answer it to your best ability. Do you think I have a little bit of a nervousness about reading your question? I'm like, what if they answer a question that I don't know how to answer? Maybe just like a little 1%. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna answer it to your best ability, based on my knowledge, based on my experience, based on my research, based on my data, based on what I've seen. This is the answer. However, further research could be done on this. If you really don't know the answer, it's an excellent question. I'm so glad you asked. At this point, it's best to be honest. You know, I would love to know it for myself too. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to do the research and I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to email you, or why don't you email me? I'll get back to you tomorrow. So you can say that. You be very honest. The person, a lot of times people are not trying to be really mean to you. I mean, there are people who are trying to be mean, but some people just want to get an answer about something. Sometimes people just want to look smart in the meeting. And their way of looking smart is one comment on one question that's going to trip up the speaker or the presenter. That happens. Now, if they are being really, really tough and they're not letting you off the hook, you know what? Your comments are really great. They're very interesting. But in the interest of time, why don't you and I take it offline? And perhaps this question can be better answered by my colleague, John. You can, or I can do more research, or we can talk about it offline. I think this is pretty common, right? We can take it offline in the interest of time, because this may not be of interest to some other people. Or if it's, oh, no, it's of interest to me too. Me too. There are 3 more people. Let's take it offline, because I really need to finish this off, because I have a prepared presentation, because everybody else needs to hear it. And then I'd be very happy to not tackle it, but we'll discuss it later. So that's, I think, the best answer I can give to that. Christy, think of the great actresses. They bring power through grace, elegance, and intelligence. That was Christy's point. Okay. How to optimize video conference effectiveness without in-person presentation? There's so many things we're going to do. I am doing a presentation for Luxottica, I think, around this, just distant communication. But I did a lot of things today, right? Video conferencing is hard. And it's hard because a lot of times you're not live with your audience. So I am looking at your videos because I want to see you guys are engaged. What I'm saying is making sense to you. Some of you guys might be watching something else on your screens. That's okay. This is for you. If you don't find this of value, that's absolutely okay. At least even if 5 or 10 people find this of value, my time is spent well. Then you ask your audience questions, right? We're asking you questions and I'm getting your responses by your smiles, your head nod, the thumbs up, waving to me, hands up, and then also through engaging in the chat box. So that's the best way you can do it. There's also a way to set up videos. When you're talking in the video, we all are culprits of this. We always want to either look at our own picture or look at our slides. We do that, and you're able to tell when the speaker is doing that. But then the best way to make that eye contact, or at least seeming like you're making the eye contact, you look at that little itty bitty pinhole camera, and that's when I'm looking at the camera. Do you feel like I'm making eye contact with you right now? Yeah, I'm speaking to the camera. I'm not looking at my slides. I'm not looking at anybody's picture right now. So that looks like eye contact. Now I'm reading the slide. You can tell I'm looking down. It's okay. We're all humans. We need to read our slides too, right? So it's okay. You want to lift up put a little box or put a thick book or a couple books under your laptop to prop it up so that you're eye level with the screen. You want to have some lighting. I've had a heck of a time managing the lighting in my for my videos, but I have a ring light and I have a desk lamp. One is on this side and one is on that side. So lighting is important, otherwise it becomes really dark. Also, I knew that we're gonna start at 6 and I have 2 really nice windows in my room, but I just kind of, I don't know if you see my windows. I kind of drew the blinds because I knew that we're gonna go from light to dark, and that's completely gonna throw off the lighting. I worked really hard on the lighting in this. I mean, it may not be perfect. I'm not, you know, I'm probably not there yet, but it just has to be presentable. What else? What else? What else? Just keep it engaging. And guys, the best advice for any kind of communication or presentation, just be yourself and be human. If you make a mistake, it's absolutely okay. If you just apologize. If you don't know an answer, it's okay. I don't know the answer. If you say something incorrectly, apologize. If you miss something, you apologize, you move on. You can think about something. I mean, I told you like, oh, I think I want to say something else, but I can't remember. If you remember it, say it. If you don't remember it, move on. I hope that was helpful. There are a lot of other things you can do around these presentations also, but this is pretty helpful. Dress okay, right? When you are in these video calls, make sure not only your top is okay, but underneath your pants are appropriate too. Don't be, you know, if you're in your pajamas, don't get off and show off your pajamas. There are some people who've accidentally walked off in their underwear. They were dressed like in a nice button down, but then they forgot that they didn't have the screen turned off, and then they walked away and they were in their underwear. So you don't want to do that. You know, it doesn't take that much effort to put, you know, a pair of slacks or a pair of jeans just to be professional, and you feel a little better about it too. Okay, there's also make me look okay, make me look better feature in Zoom videos. It doesn't do that much of a benefit, but it just kind of irons out some of the flaws. Well, I mean, flaws are good. Diamonds have flaws. We're all diamonds. All right. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Very helpful. Thank you, Sean. You are right. Okay. Do you consciously think your armor thoughts during a presentation or other communication? I usually think my armor thoughts right before the presentation. And then if something happens, because during the presentation, I usually don't have the bandwidth because I'm thinking about the presentation. I'm also thinking about engaging the audience. But however, I could think about the armor thought if my audience is not feeling engaged or they're distracted or I did not make that connection. And then that armor thought comes in, or the positive mindset or the strong belief system comes in, I can do it. I have high energy. A lot of times, a higher energy, a question, a little bit of rah-rah, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of drama in the good sense, just like, you know, just a little bit of a act. I don't want to call it an act, but just, you know what I mean, like using your gestures, using your body language really engages your audience back and draws them back into you. There will be audience members who are on their phone, who are reading something else, who are daydreaming, who are, you know, deer with the headlight type of. You can't do anything about that. I mean, it is what it is. You can't like keep everybody's attention at you 100% of the time. Okay. In today's scenario, do you recommend asking a business prospect for a video meeting to present something since we won't be getting an in-person meeting for a while, or respect their privacy and just request audio without sounding pushy? All right, this is a great question. Very, very pertinent. I do both. It depends. It could be kind of strange for the first time to do a video. So what we could do is, I think the easier way to go about it is start a phone conversation. And if the phone conversation is going well, the next time you can meet on video, or perhaps if you have made a good rapport, maybe it's a good way to, would you like to meet on perhaps on video? At least we both know who we're talking to, because I think, so because I'm really enjoying our conversation, and we don't need to be on video the whole time. At least we get to see who we are. We can do that. A lot of new people that I'm interacting with, they may say, oh, I'll just send you a Zoom link. It has become such a common thing to send a Zoom link or send a Skype. And when you're doing those things almost need video. But you can also, if you're not comfortable with accepting somebody else's video message, you can tell them, I prefer just talking on the phone. And one more thing, can I suggest something too? people, when they're doing video, I mean, they can record you anytime, but if they are in a video meeting, just tell them that I hope you're not recording. I appreciate if you're not recording it. So because if you don't want them to record, so that would be helpful. Oh, one good thing about doing Zoom calls or this is kind of gross. You know, when we speak, there's a little bit of, you know, little spray here and there. Nobody's bothered by that because nobody can see it, and no, it's not going to make anybody, you know, uncomfortable. So that's like the benefit of it. It's fantastic. All right. So I hope that's helpful. You can always say no, or maybe if you can ask them, would you like a video meeting or would you like a phone meeting? So it's okay. How to estimate the time length of your presentation? Aren't we usually allocated, like depending upon where you're presenting, it depends. You can ask who's hosting you, how long it should be. It just depends on where you're going to be presenting. If it's at work, it's usually 5 to 25 minutes, depending upon what you're presenting, or half an hour. If you are doing a webinar usually like this, it's usually an hour. John, Pelly, and I spoke about it, and we thought we had so much content to cover, so we're going to be about an hour and a half. So if you're on stage, it's usually 20 minutes to 60 minutes. It just depends. Ask whoever is inviting you or whoever is a host. If you are the host, it just depends on the conversation and the content and what you're providing. It's hard for me to answer this question. If you give me some more detail, Gordon, I might be able to answer that later. All right. Earlier in the presentation, you discussed the importance of self-promotion. How do you create the opportunities to talk about your contributions to people who matter without seeming forced? Yeah. Excellent question. Again, it's hard to do justice to answer this question in a very short time. Keep it conversational. And one easy way to do it is start talking about, you know, oh, I just got on this great project, or I have a good idea, but I'm trying to work on it. We haven't made a breakthrough yet, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do. This is the idea. And you kind of bringing them in on the lower floor, on the first floor level, ground floor level when it was just an idea and you really have no idea. Or you can even talk to them about the challenges you're facing. And then when you overcome them, then it's very easy for you to share the wins without sounding pompous or boastful or tooting your own horn. So because if these are people who are important to you, you should be in frequent conversations with them. Now, we do this also with my students sometimes. So when you're in my 10-week course, there are several types of speeches we work on with you. We do impromptu speeches. That's cool. You get practice. But we do prepared speeches which are related to your work. Let's say you're an entrepreneur, you're going to pitch to a VC, so we're going to work on that with you. Let's see you are in finance and you have to present to a bunch of SVPs or a bunch of your M&A clients. We can work on that. Maybe you're in looking for a job, we're going to work on that. But then there are other types of speeches which are more of introspective speeches and confidence boosting speeches. And one of the speeches is this, something that I'm proud of. It seems very simple, but a lot of times us as adults, we work so hard. We're like next milestone, next milestone, next milestone, and we don't even revel in our great accomplishment moments. So I want you to kind of go deep into it and talk about something I'm proud of. And the way we do it, and it could be from your childhood, previous, you know, when you were younger, anything. But, you know, it's not about, I got the award for being the best salesperson ever. And oh my gosh, I'm so amazing. And I really broke the record by 20%. My name should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. No, nobody's going to like that. So when you're doing in my class, you're going to do like a 5-minute to 10-minute speech. But when you're doing a conversation like this, maybe in a meeting, it could be just a story, you know? Well, tell us more about, let's say you're an entrepreneur. Tell us more about this product. How are you going to sell it? So aren't you nervous about selling it? I don't think there's a big enough market for it. So let's say, you know, I understand what you're saying, but this is not my first company. My first company was a product named A. And, you know, we went through several iterations, and our first round of the product just didn't do well at all. And we didn't know what we had put in our heart and soul, you know, sweat equity, everything into that, and it didn't work well. And we were wanting to give up, and we thought we're going to give it one other try. We just did a pivot. We changed a product from this to that, right? And we really we flexed on the gas pedal on marketing, And we were very prescriptive about our marketing, very specific about our marketing, and we knew exactly the target audience we were going after. And after working 6 months straight and having no sales, 0 sales for about 2 months of those 6 months, our sales just kept going up and up and up. It was just the right combination of product, marketing, and within 6 months, we made $500,000, $1 million, whatever you made, right? So that's, you kind of come from that pit point, that low vulnerability point, but then you're creating that credibility for yourself. So you kind of boasted, well, you know what? I'm a good salesperson, or I'm a good marketer, or I'm a good product person, but it did not sound, because you take them through that journey of the hero's downfall journey, they kind of start writing it with you. You become the underdog, and then everybody's rooting for the underdog. Oh, wow, Jan, you did that. That's fantastic. So now they see credibility in you. If she could do that product, she can do this product. So that's how you want to do it. You want to do it in a little bit of a story format. And if there are people that you see very frequently, then you can do bit by bit by bit. It's just good to share like the pitfalls. We don't always want to shine the brightest light on only the accomplishments. You want to take them through the journey for them to not think that you're just tooting your horn. May record this program for my personal use only. Oh. If you don't mind not recording it, I think, please, I would appreciate that. You know who you are. Thank you, Jyoti. Nice presentation. I appreciate all your tips. Thank you, Christy. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of thank yous. Okay, I'd also like to know this. Earlier in the presentation, you discussed the importance of self-promotion. Oh, we talked about this. Okay, we talked about this. Thank you, Jyoti. High energy, time, content, and delivery. If you're given the time limit for your presentation, how do you know how to make sure your prepared presentation would satisfy it? That's a great question, Gordon. Again, come from the audience's perspective, right? So what is the top 3, top 2, top 5 nuggets you can share with your audience, which is going to be fantastic value add for them? So you want to come from your audience's perspective. You may just touch upon them, right? You may not be able to go too much into detail. You can tell them, in the interest of time, I only have 20 minutes. This is what I can cover. But if you have more interest, we can have a detailed conversation later. Today we're talking for almost now 2 hours. It's not enough for me. It's very short time for me to cover so much, and it's very stressful for me because sometimes I speak so fast because I fill my presentations with a lot of content that I want to share. So I feel you, but you just have to kind of frame it around that. Just, we have shortened time, but I want to leave you with 3 important things if you could remember and do, and then we can go on into the details. Next presentation, next time, something else. I have this. I have a book. I have something else that I can share with you. Okay. Thank you. It was helpful. Good night. Thank you. Want to avoid being asked to stop presentation because time limit exceeded when good parts yet. Oh, that is so important. That's very important. So you guys got the question. Want to avoid being asked to stop the presentation before time limit exceeded. So you want to kind of put in the good parts early on also, so that you're not feeling rushed towards the end, because again, you want to give your audience the right value. Also, you remember mistake 1, you're creating a perception for yourself. You're creating visibility for yourself. I've made this mistake. I kind of went into, like, I've done this in the past, and now I'm very careful. First half of the presentation was not as solid for me once, and I'm like, never again. I just tried to dive into my important stuff as quickly as possible. Because also, if it's not important early on, you're going to lose people, especially in this webinar series, right? If people are live, they'll stay, they're hosted. They'll stay until their wine finishes, or until their hors d'oeuvres or food dinner at that meeting stays. They'll stay. Okay, thank you, Jen. Please implement it. Thank you so much. Okay, many thanks. Okay, wow, the questions are, I think, over. Wow, I learned a lot. Any other questions? I'm here. I can open it up. We have fewer people. If you have questions, live questions, we can actually have people speak too. Thank you, Richard. I can unmute you guys for some time, and it would be nice to just kind of talk to you guys if it's okay with John. John, if you have to go, I totally understand, but it would be nice. We have still 50 people. Hang on 1 second. I am going to stop the share. That way I can control this a little bit better. John, you want to text me what you want to do, and I will follow your lead. We will probably just open up for 5 minutes just for a general live conversation. Okay. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. We should probably wrap up. Anyways, so we're going to wrap up in the interest of time and to respect you guys. I'm keeping you from dinner. Sorry about that. It was so great to have all of you here. I loved having everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Pat yourselves on the back. Hugs and kisses. If you have questions, please reach out to me. You have my 2 gifts. Take advantage of that, please. Get the mini course is only half an hour. You will be done. It's a good one. And then reach out to me with any questions. All right, John, any final words that you want to share? I'm going to unmute you 1 second, my friend. Okay.
That was incredible. Thank you so much, Jyoti. I think if everyone else here got just a quarter of the value I got, they've been incredibly enriched. That was amazing. Took away so much, just so much to digest. Can't thank you enough. I hope everyone really enjoyed it. Like I said, just even half as much as I did. It was really, really wonderful. Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Really appreciate your kind words. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stay well, stay safe, social distancing.
Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.